think it would be wrong to pay an employee only $4 an hour?
It would be against the law.
But would it be wrong?
Absolutely, because it would be illegal.
But
and I don't believe in breaking laws.
The fact that something is illegal means it's wrong?
Absolutely, that's why it's illegal.
Everything that's illegal is wrong?
Yes, absolutely.
So drinking was wrong when there was the prohibition, and then when they got rid of the law, it wasn't wrong anymore?
We are a nation of laws. We are not a nation of outlaws.
So
the fact is that when we say the law is the law...
When it was illegal for slaves to escape, it was wrong for them to escape?
When it was illegal where? In the South?
In the South, for slaves to escape.
Well,
was it wrong for them to escape?
The South fought a war over that, and I think that the answer was that it was wrong for the South to say that.
No, but Mike, your point is that anything that's illegal is wrong. So whatever the legislators say is right because the legislator said it.
We are a nation of laws, Jan.
So I asked you a question. Was it illegal? Was it illegal when slaves? It was illegal for slaves to escape. When they escaped, was that something wrong?
We fought a war over that.
But was it wrong? I didn't ask you whether they fought a war or not. Was it wrong?
It was wrong for the South to pass that law, and they paid dearly for it.
That's not the question. Was it wrong for the slaves to escape? It's your thesis that anything that's illegal is wrong. And I've given you two examples which obviously show that everything that's illegal isn't necessarily wrong, because guess what? Laws can be mistaken, right?
Sure, and you break them at your own peril.
So then if you break a law that's mistaken, it's not necessarily wrong. So getting back to minimum wage.
So we're each our own judge and jury. We're each our own Supreme Court as to what laws are good and bad? That's what your premise leads to, which is totally fallacious.
My premise is that it isn't the same thing necessarily.
Sure, it's
what
anarchy.
Is illegal?
Anarchy.
No, not anarchy.
Absolutely.
Why?
Because we're each deciding which laws we're going to follow and which ones we're not.
No, we're not doing that.
Oh, yes, we are. If you say you're the arbiter.
What we are doing is making a distinction between what is illegal and what is immoral and what is wrong. And it doesn't necessarily coincide in every instance. You're arguing that it always coincides, right?
No, I'm saying that we are a nation of laws.
Did you say that everything that's illegal is wrong?
I'm saying that we are a nation of laws.
Did you say that or did you not say that?
It is wrong to break the law.
But did you say that or did you not say that?
I just said it is wrong to break the law.
No matter what the law. So if the slave escapes from the South, he's doing something wrong, according to you.
No, because I didn't agree to the laws in the South and the Civil War.
That was the law.
And the North enforced their laws. Only in certain circumstances.
So if you had a drink during Prohibition, that was wrong. That was morally wrong. When they got rid of that law, it wasn't morally wrong anymore. So the same action is wrong and not wrong, depending on the whim of the legislator.
No, it's not the whim of the legislature. Where do you think the legislature gets its power? It comes from the people.
Well,
it doesn't come out of the blue. It doesn't come out of the heavens. People say, we want you, Mr. Congressman, we want you, Mrs. Congressman, to do something.
Every law that the legislatures pass is the will of the people?
Or that legislator isn't there.
They can try to vote him out, but it doesn't ever always represent the will of the people, number one. And number two, does the fact that a law is the will of the people mean that it's correct?
It is the law.
That's not the question. Is it good?
Correct?
Is it ethical? Is it moral? Does the fact that a majority of people think something is moral make it moral?
Well, I think this is beyond the, this is more Kantian. We're talking Kantian now,
That's what you're arguing.
Instead of Keynesian. But I guess the question, no, what I'm arguing is that we should not be the arbiters.
I asked you a simple question, which was,
and I'm not trying to answer in a very simple way.
Look, I asked you a simple question.
Even you're going to understand this, is that we don't have to have each person decide for themselves in our democracy which laws to obey and which not to obey. That's why we have policemen and courts.
So you will follow a law that you think is wrong morally, right? Okay, fine.
Morally,
I asked you a question whether it was wrong to pay somebody $4 an hour. You've evaded answering. You won't answer. You say it's illegal, so it's wrong. But I didn't ask you whether it was illegal. I'm asking you whether it was morally wrong.
I can't believe you've ever been a business person.
I'm asking you whether it's morally wrong to pay a person $4 an hour. Can you answer that?
Have you ever been a business person?
You won't answer that?
I will. but I want to ask you, have you ever been a business person?
Do you always
do you think
do you answer
decide,
all questions with questions?
Do you think as a business person...
How can I find out what you think if you, every time I ask you a question, you ask me a question?
If you are quiet for just 30 seconds, I'll answer.
You're going to answer the question. Which is the question?
I'm going to answer the question that you think business people...
That's not the question.
If you listen real close, you're going to find the answer.
The question is whether it's wrong, morally wrong, to pay somebody $4 an hour.
And I'm going to answer you if you'll allow me to.
Go ahead. I'll wait for that answer.
You're very kind. Do you think business people make a moral judgment how much to pay their people?
I'm not asking that.
Oh, but that you are.
A moral judgment?
Yes, you just said, do I think it's morally wrong? There's no moral.
There's no
moral about paying people $4 or $4.25.
So then why doesn't the government let people decide for themselves freely whether they should pay $4 or $5 or $6 or whatever?
And the bottom line is, what do I need to make a profit? There's no moral or immoral.
Do you think that the government should respect everybody's individual rights to decide for themselves what is in their self-interest or not?
The government's interest.
Do you think that they should or they shouldn't?
They should allow people to say, if I work, I'm not going to be in poverty. That's the government's role.
You think it's better then for the government to impose a minimum wage and then for the employer to say, well, if that's how much I have to pay, well, I won't have this job. And this person doesn't get the job.
But that doesn't happen.
Of course it happens. That's why you have millions of people unemployed.
That is not true.
Well, why do you think all these people are unemployed?
I have told you over and over again, every time we've looked at the minimum wage, every time we've looked at how we've raised the minimum wage over 60 years, what you say is false.
Well, let's get to the bottom line here. The bottom line is that if you require an employer to pay more than what the consumers of that service are willing to reimburse him, he will incur in a loss. And if he incurs in a loss, he will fire that employee. If you have businesses that are breaking even with minimum wage earners and you require them to increase their labor costs by paying a higher minimum wage, they will start to incur a loss and they will go out of business, and that will also increase unemployment. The bottom line is that the government should respect its citizens, should not force people that have not violated anybody's individual rights to act against their judgment. It should let them decide what's in their self-interest and deal with each other as free and respectful, dignified human beings, as opposed to telling them what's in their self-interest and therefore harming the most unproductive members of society by making it impossible for them to get a job because they don't produce a value as evaluated by the consumers